There is a conversation that happens in financial advisor offices all across America every single day. A retiree sits down across the desk from someone in a nice suit. They explain their situation, how much they have saved, what they need every month, how worried they are about making it last, and the advisor listens carefully and nods and gives advice. What the retiree does not know is that some of what they are about to hear is shaped not entirely by what is best for them, but by what is most profitable for the person sitting across from them. I am not saying every financial advisor is dishonest. Most are not. But there is a system built around retirement advice in this country that creates conflicts of interest so significant, so routine, and so rarely disclosed that millions of retirees make financial decisions every year based on incomplete information, and the consequences of those decisions play out slowly and quietly over decades in the form of fees that compound, products that underperform, and opportunities that were never mentioned because mentioning them would have cost the advisor money. My name is Margaret, and this channel exists because you deserve the complete picture. Not the version someone profits from. The full truth. If this is your first time here, hit subscribe right now, because what we are about to go through is something every retiree and every person approaching retirement needs to understand before they sit down with anyone who is managing their money. Let's get into it. I want to start with a woman named Evelyn. Evelyn is 71 years old. She lives in Scottsdale, Arizona. When her husband passed away 4 years ago, she inherited their combined retirement savings. Just over $400,000. She had never managed money on her own before. Her husband had always handled the finances. She was smart, she was capable, but she was also grieving and overwhelmed, and she needed help. A financial advisor came highly recommended by a friend from church. He was warm and professional and made her feel like everything was going to be fine. She handed him the account. She trusted him completely. 3 years later, Evelyn has watched her account grow much more slowly than she expected. She has received statements she does not fully understand. She has paid fees she did not know she was paying. And when she finally sat down with someone else to review her situation, she found out 3 things that changed everything. First, she was paying over 1% per year in management fees on top of the expense ratios of the funds she was in. Second, she had been placed in an annuity product that locked up a significant portion of her money with steep penalties for early withdrawal. And third, there were simpler, lower-cost options available that would have suited her situation well, and that her original advisor had never mentioned. Evelyn is not naive. Evelyn is not unintelligent. Evelyn was simply not given the information she needed to ask the right questions. Today, I am going to make sure you have that information. The first thing financial advisors often do not tell you is the difference between a fiduciary and a non-fiduciary advisor, and why it matters enormously. This is the most important distinction in all of retirement financial advice, and most people have never heard it explained clearly. Here is what it means. A fiduciary advisor is legally required to act in your best interest, not in the interest of their firm, not in the interest of their own compensation, in your best interest. A non-fiduciary advisor, which includes many brokers and insurance agents who call themselves financial advisors, is only required to recommend products that are suitable for you. Suitable is a much lower standard than best interest. A product can be suitable even if it costs significantly more than a comparable alternative. Even if the advisor earns a much higher commission from it. Even if a better option exists that they simply chose not to mention. The distinction sounds technical, but the practical difference in outcomes over a 20 or 30-year retirement can be enormous. Before you work with any financial advisor, ask them directly and in writing. Are you a fiduciary? Are you legally required to act in my best interest at all times? If they hesitate, if they change the subject, If they say something like, "I always put my clients first," without directly answering the question, you have your answer. A true fiduciary will say yes without qualification and will be willing to put it in writing. The second thing advisors often do not tell you is the full cost of what you are paying. Fees in the financial industry are layered in ways that are deliberately difficult for the average person to understand. Most people who have a managed investment account know they pay a management fee. What they often do not realize is that this is only one layer of what they are paying. Inside the funds they own there are expense ratios. These are annual fees charged by the fund itself simply to exist. The average actively managed mutual fund charges around 1% per year in expense ratios. If your advisor is also charging 1% to manage your account, you are paying approximately 2% per year total on your invested assets. That number sounds small. It is not small. Here is what 2% per year actually costs over time. If you have $400,000 invested and it grows at 6% per year, before fees, after 2% in fees, your net return is 4%. Over 20 years, the difference between a 4% return and a 6% return on $400,000 is over $300,000. $300,000. Gone not to bad luck or bad markets, but to fees. Fees that were always disclosed somewhere in the fine print, but never explained clearly in plain language. The alternative that most advisors will not proactively mention is low-cost index funds. Index funds simply track a market index like the S&P 500. They do not try to beat the market. They just match it. And because they require almost no active management, their expense ratios are tiny, often less than 0.1% per year. Decades of research have consistently shown that the vast majority of actively managed funds underperform their benchmark index over long periods after fees, which means that for most retirees, a simple low-cost index fund portfolio would have outperformed their actively managed account, not because their advisor was bad at picking stocks, because the fees made it mathematically almost impossible to win. The third thing advisors often do not tell you is the truth about annuities. I want to be careful here because annuities are not always bad. For certain people in certain situations, they can provide real value, but they are also among the highest commission products in the financial industry, which means they are among the most frequently recommended products, even when better alternatives exist. Here is how the commission structure works. When an advisor sells you an annuity, they typically earn a commission of somewhere between 4 and 8% of the amount you invest. On a $100,000 annuity, that is $4,000 to $8,000 paid to the advisor at the time of sale. This commission does not come out of a separate fee you pay. It comes from the product itself, which means it is built into the cost structure that affects your returns over time. The advisor has a significant financial incentive to recommend an annuity over other options that might suit you equally well or better. And because the commission is not presented as a line item on a bill you see, most clients have no idea it is happening. Additionally, many annuities come with surrender charges, which are penalties you pay if you need to access your money before a specified period ends. These periods can range from 5 to 10 years. If you invest $200,000 in an annuity with a 7-year surrender period and then face an unexpected medical expense in year 3, withdrawing that money could cost you 15 to 20% in penalties. Evelyn did not know about the surrender charges when she signed. She found out when she needed money for a home repair and discovered that accessing her own savings would cost her tens of thousands of dollars. The fourth thing advisors often do not tell you is that Social Security strategy is one of the most valuable financial decisions a retiree can make, and most advisors know surprisingly little about it. We covered Social Security in detail in a previous video, and I will link it below. But the important point here is that the decision of when and how to claim Social Security can be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. The coordination between spouses, the decision about when each spouse claims, the impact on survivor benefits. These are complex decisions with enormous financial consequences. And yet most financial advisors spend far more time discussing investments than they do discussing Social Security strategy. Why? Because there is no product to sell. There is no commission to earn, helping you optimize your Social Security. Claiming strategy does not generate revenue for an advisor the way selling an annuity or a managed account does. So many advisors give it minimal attention or refer you to the Social Security Administration website and move on. If your advisor has never spent significant time reviewing your Social Security options with you in detail, that is a conversation worth initiating. Or you can work with a Social Security specialist, many of whom charge a flat fee for a one-time consultation that can be worth many times the cost. The fifth thing advisors often do not tell you is about the alternatives available to you that cost almost nothing to access. There are resources available to retirees for free or at very low cost that provide genuinely helpful financial guidance without the conflicts of interest that come with commission-based advice. The first is your local non-profit credit union. Credit unions are member-owned financial institutions that exist to serve their members rather than to generate profit. Many credit unions offer free financial counseling to members and can help with budgeting, debt management, and basic investment questions without any commission or product sales involved. The second is AARP. AARP offers free financial counseling resources through their website and through local chapters, including a program specifically designed to help retirees review their financial situation. The third is the Certified Financial Planner Board's database of fee-only advisors at cfp.net. A fee-only advisor charges you directly for their time, either by the hour or by a flat project fee, and earns no commissions from products. They are legally required to be fiduciaries. The fee-only model removes the commission conflict entirely. You pay for advice. The advisor has no incentive to recommend one product over another, because they earn the same regardless of what you choose. For a one-time retirement review, you might pay $500 to $2,000. That is a significant sum, but it may save you tens of thousands over the course of your retirement. The fourth resource is the FINRA Investor Education Foundation at investor.finra.org. FINRA is the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, and their investor education resources are free, unbiased, and specifically designed to help people understand their rights and options when working with financial professionals. Now I want to come back to Evelyn. When Evelyn found out what had happened, she felt embarrassed. She felt like she should have known better. I want to say something directly to anyone who feels that way. You were not supposed to know better. This system was not designed to be easily understood by the people it serves. The layered fees, the blurred distinction between fiduciary and non-fiduciary, the high commission products presented as personalized recommendations, these are features of the system, not accidents. The people who profit from this system have spent decades making it difficult to see clearly. What Evelyn did next was exactly right. She asked questions. She found a fee-only fiduciary advisor for a one-time review. She moved a portion of her assets into lower-cost index funds. She learned what she was paying and why. And she started making decisions based on complete information instead of partial information. She cannot get back the years of higher fees, but she can make sure the next 20 years look different. And so can you. Here is what I want you to do after this video. First, if you currently work with a financial advisor, send them an email this week asking 2 simple questions. Are you a fiduciary? And can you provide me with a complete breakdown of all fees I am paying, including fund expense ratios? A trustworthy advisor will answer both questions fully and without hesitation. If the response is evasive or unclear, that is important information. Second, go to cfp.net and search for fee-only fiduciary advisors in your area. Even if you are happy with your current advisor, a one-time independent review of your retirement plan can provide enormous peace of mind or reveal something important you did not know. Third, if you have not already watched our video on Social Security strategy, watch it now. The link is in the description. Understanding how to maximize your Social Security benefit is one of the highest value financial decisions available to most retirees, and it costs you nothing to learn. Fourth, remember that you have rights. You have the right to ask questions. You have the right to understand what you are paying. You have the right to take your account elsewhere if you are not satisfied. Your money, your retirement, your right to a complete picture. If this video helped you understand something that nobody explained to you before, please subscribe to this channel right now and share this video with someone you care about who is in or approaching retirement. Drop a comment below and tell me, did you know whether your advisor is a fiduciary before watching this? I want to hear from you. I read every single comment. I am Margaret. I will see you next week.